Hello everyone, my name is Peter Wednesday Octaviano Arta.
My name is Senja Cahyotirta.
My name is Rifki Fadil Abdar.
My name is Farel Butasa Apiano.
My name is Aziz Muhammad Arazi, and we are Team Robin Hood from Universitas Brawijaya. And this is EcoCraft, an AI and IT-based waste transportation monitoring ecosystem. Jakarta is facing a serious waste transportation crisis. Every day, more than 7,500 tons of waste are hauled for the Bantar Gebang landfill, using over 1,300 trucks. But the real problem is just the volume. It's how the volume is managed. Both problems share the same root because there's no actionable data coming straight from the source.
This is where EcoCraft closed that gate. Our system works across three layers. At the edge layers, the small disposal unit uses ultrasonic sensors to detect waste. Then, an ESP32 camera captures the image. OpenCV processes the image locally before sending only the relevant data to the cloud. At the intelligence layers, the Gemini API classifies the type of waste, estimates the village falls, and predict the waste, all in real time. At the action layers, all of this data flows into a web dashboard, where the environmental agency and TPS operator can monitor regional waste accumulation, receive priority notification, and coordinate transportation based on actual condition rather a fixed schedule.
So now I want to explain about my AI how to disease can be tracker to object detection. This is our visual unit to detect an object. So if I run this, it will open the camera. Then if we detect an object like this, it will detect the object category, object volume, and weight of the object. And then this is can detect more of one object like the plastic, paper, organic, and other. Now I will explain about our website, especially in the citizen account.
Once you access the dashboard, you can easily monitor your waste management status. It displays three key metrics. First, the total number of trash bins assigned to the users. Second, how many of those bins are currently active. And finally, how many bins are already full and need attention. Next, let's navigate to the bin details page. This is where the core monitoring happens. On the screen, operators can monitor critical real-time metrics, including the total mass of waste collected and the current fill levels capacity of each smart bin. For example, looking at the Taman Menteng bins, the system indicates that 3.7 kg of waste have been deposited. Additionally, our system categorizes the content, displaying a precise breakdown of the specific items detected inside the bin to ensure proper waste classification. Moving on to asset deployment, our platform simplifies infrastructure expansion with this streamlined registration model. Here, registering a new smart bin requires just a few key inputs: the bin ID, its designated location, and its total volume capacity. To maintain administrative control, bins are categorized by regions, predefined by the admin. Furthermore, the platform supports precise geotagging by allowing manual entry of latitude and longitude coordinates. After hitting save, the data syncs immediately, making the new bin live on the dashboard in seconds. To close the loop on waste management, we introduced the upcycling recommendation module, a feature built to promote a circular economy. Based on the specific type of waste detected inside the bin, our system dynamically suggests creative upcycling projects that user can make with those materials. By simply interacting with any recommendations, users are presented with an interactive, step-by-step guide on how to repurpose their waste into valuable and functional items.
Now, let's we move on to the operator side of the platform. So, this is the dashboard used by DLHK, our environmental agency partner. So, right after the login, at the top of the platform, there are 4 keys of numbers. First is the total TPS, is the total numbers of waste collection point registered in the system. Next is active, is how many of those TPS are currently active and operational. Third is full, which is show us how many TPS have reached full capacity. And the last is collected, which is show us of the total amount of waste in kilogram. It's collected across all registered TPS combined. So, it's not per location but the system whole total. Below that is the network capacity indicator. This tells DLHK exactly how many TPS out of total are currently full. Right now, it reads 0 out of 2. Bins are full and need to be emptied. If one of 2 TPS become full, this would automatically update to 1 out of 2, and the percentage would jump to 50%. When a TPS is marked full, this is the signal for DLHK to schedule a truck to go and collect from that specific location. Next is the material composition card, which also aggregates data from all active TPS combined. In this case, it shows plastic at 40%, organic at 35%, paper at 20%, and metal at 5%. And the system can also track other categories like unorganic waste. So, this gives DLHK a clear picture of what kind of waste is being generated across the whole network, which can inform recycling and processing decision. And we moving to the next page, it's TPS management. This is where DLHK can manage the entire network. One thing to keep in mind is the workflow. A region needs to be added first, since every TPS has to be assigned to one. So, once a region exists, a new TPS can be added under it. Right now, its 2 regions are registered, Central Jakarta and East Jakarta, and 2 TPS are active under them. It's Taman Suropati and Taman Bambu 1. From this page, admin can add new regions, add new TPS under those regions, and admin also can edit or delete both TPS and region whenever needed. So, it's giving DLHK full control as the network grows. It's interesting, right? And finally is the resident data page. This page lets DLHK monitor the registered user of the system, essentially the residents who are actively contributing to the platform. For example, here we can see Budi Warga registered with the email warga@test.com. Under the role warga or resident, DLHK can track exactly who is registered and how many users are active.
EcoCraft isn't just a prototype. The system is designed for a real-world deployment. Our P2G model partners directly with environmental agencies such as DLSK, while residents play an active role as data contributor. In the short term, EcoCraft improves waste visibility and encourages better sorting at the source. In medium term, the system supports smarter transportation planning across Jakarta district, cutting fuel waste, preventing waste build-up, and laying the foundation for citywide expansion. This aligns with SDG 11 for sustainable city, SDG 12 for responsible consumption, and SDG 13 for climate action. We believe that EcoCraft can transform Jakarta waste management from reactive to truly data-driven. Thank you. This is EcoCraft from Team Robin Hood.